What's up? Just me. Yeah, this is live. What up, LTC84? There's like zero interest now. Volume is kind of falling off. But the structure at least looks bullish. How are you guys doing? I'm sitting on the slope where the variance decays. When it finally releases, it don't drift, it reways. I'm a ghost in accumulation, talking decimals in size. Vol surface folding in where while conviction multiplies. Beta traders chase noise. You got first today, no announcements. Nice. Yeah, not much is happening really. I think Coinbase was down for maintenance or something for a bit. But we were on a 9 and didn't reverse. Usually this leads to at least like 1 to 4 candle correction. But I kind of hate seeing Bitcoin rally over the weekend. It usually retraces this, but it's not really that much higher than where it closed. A few $100. Sigma sleeping heavy while the restless reap. You can feel the slow flatten like a breath on hold. Vote compressed twice in the spring turn gold. Time series memory, pain in the mean. Every sleeping your weekend away? That's alright, you need some rest. I heard most people are taking PTO just to sleep at their homes now. But yeah, I think it's telling. I think search interest for Litecoin is now basically back to where it was before the rally late last year. So like October, November, kind of same time period exactly 1 year ago. We're like at the same level, but price is way higher. Feels dead to me, which is good. I mean, there's nobody in here right now even. Funding rates came back down, like moving towards negative territory, and open interest is where we were basically prior. Everything's reset back to the same levels we were at pre-rally from November to December. This only lasted a month, but it was a 3x move. Like, similar percentage move would be close to all-time highs. But man, it is surprising to me to see this little interest so close to the end of this compression. It is crazy to me. We have a potential 100x move here, and the whole world is distracted. Transaction stats. Usually Litecoin transactions decline over the weekend. We're at 200k yesterday. It is the perfect setup. Yeah, holy it's fucking, it's insane how market psychology works. Goddamn. The herd is going to, they're all just driven by price. Equation divine, the numbers align, compressions of prayer in a quantitative shrine, momentum asleep. Even my channel feels dead. I think this liquidation event killed everyone.
LTC others was also on a 9, and I don't really like the way it's rising. Maybe we have a few day pullback like we had here. But on the higher time frames, I feel like technically this was the start of the breakout. Take the wick to body trend line. We were rejected here super hard with that liquidation. Reclaimed, retested. One more pullback before the breakout of Litecoin against everything. It's so obvious. Well, it's obvious under the conditions that I think are most likely. Right, I think what is most telling is that the whole market that actually pays attention to monetary stats and monetization levels was super surprised at Litecoin strength and growth over the last few years, when it was always the most likely thing to happen. It just hasn't happened on a scale that anyone is prepared to handle. They're even surprised, even though the price went nowhere, people paying attention were surprised that it started to dominate. And if we're gonna see what I've thought just forever, that we're gonna see a mania kind of like 2017 with 10x plus people owning or having price exposure to Bitcoin, these fee levels can go from 0 to 100 real quick. I mean, this fee rally happened over 1 month. Went from almost nothing to 50, 60 bucks. I think it's hard to estimate, but they can go from 0 to 100 to $1,000 because they move non-linearly. And it's, if we see the migration that's possible, it will shock the entire world. Because Litecoin will get re-rated instantly. I don't know why it's that hard to see. But like a 10% migration of Bitcoin daily volume to Litecoin adds $300 billion to Litecoin's tiny like $7 billion, $10 billion market cap. So it's so dumb. I feel like this market is retarded, but whatever. It presents the opportunity.
It was never chance. It was cash. Time don't move, it loads. Built from pressure, that code don't show. 8 years deep, not a calm.
What up, Sonny? How's it going?
Steady while the thesis grows, they call that a break. I call that sync. I see their walls starting to shrink. Charge twitch first before the systems know. Now you're here, compression.
It will be like a detonation, like a bomb has gone off.
Everybody left when it got too calm. I stayed, I learned what quiet cost.
Everybody has left when it's gotten too calm. What up, MK? Yeah, this will go from, if this plays out, it'll go from almost zero awareness to a massive cultural phenomenon because of price action. And that's what I built all of this stuff around over the last year. For this small window of time. or the whole dominant narrative in crypto, Bitcoin, maximalism, can get overturned in a month.
They scroll past proof like ass, call fake delusion, call time sabotage, stack stats. I watch the math and pressure build when nobody asks. Yeah. So yeah, keep saying it's over. That's cool. Even the grave can hold breath before the shoulder twitch. Pressure point, and the twitch just hit.
Yo, what up, Dewey? Time for number go up. Time for number to go vertical. If we're not at all-time highs by the end of the year, I'll be surprised.
Everyone's watching the wrong chart. They stare at the surface.
And I think it's just all-time high retest.
Candles flickering, thinking that's where truth lives.
5 digits into spring.
It never is.
Dun, dun, dun.
The movement they're chasing was written somewhere else first, in structure, in imbalance, in the core. Everyone was trained to believe didn't matter. They mistake stillness for death, they mistake noise.
What else is there new that we can even talk about?
The real chart, the one that matters, ain't the one.
I don't know why people are bullish on this.
It's the one underneath, the one no one tracks.
It's fucked.
The story's already been told, just not where they're looking. And when the break comes, they'll call it unpredictable. It's the opposite. This shift.
Zcash actually looks like it might break
It's a
these
permanent
highs.
structural change that'll reverberate everywhere, all at once.
Crazy how much just hype
Traders beyond
can
the
pump
house's
price.
vision.
So like if Zcash can make this move on 0 fundamental growth, 4,000 transactions a day, it's laughable.
It won't be a chart anymore.
What will Litecoin do if my assumptions come true?
It'll
And if
be
they
all.
do, this will pass Bitcoin, total users. It will get a lot closer in total volume sent over the chain, and the narrative will flip 180 degrees. Like, complete opposite. Nobody,
The fuse is lit 8 years ago.
the craziest thing ever, right? Because it's like the narrative that institutions have been selling. They've all been parroting.
Last month.
Gets disrupted
You didn't see the spark.
in under a year.
Real ignition don't flash. It lights before the narratives exist.
And it'll be a permanent psychological shift.
It burns. How to breathe under pressure. They kept asking, when's it gonna happen?
When's it gonna happen? What up, Nick?
More than more.
Buenos dias.
Like every delay is a part of the burn.
Good evening.
The longer the fuse, the bigger the detonation.
Should say bonne nuit in French. Bonne nuit.
Needed it.
Bonsoir.
To soak in disbelief.
I took French class
Call it fair.
in middle school.
I call it architecture.
You should come on here,
Each year.
Nick, if you're at
a
home.
layer of smoke
What are
on
you
the floor.
thinking, short term?
Each doubt. Another inch of powder line in the path.
I feel bullish over the next couple weeks, but I don't know if this
8 years of
is a choppy grind higher.
I didn't fall. I was following the fuse.
I think November, December, January, February, March, April are Litecoin's months. It's total cultural domination.
Here ain't time running out. It's truth catching up. The fuse is gone now.
Dominate social media for 5 months.
Is what it was leading to.
We can retain it. The attention if it comes. TikTok.
They keep talking like it's sudden. Like I ain't met
All the Bitcoin OGs who sold their bags to the BTC treasurers want another big BTC alternative. Yeah, maybe. I think it's the easiest for them to rotate into because it's the same. It is just another Bitcoin chain. And if it passes, there's no way another chain can catch Litecoin in this proof of work side of the market. Look at BCH is dead. 15,000 transactions and $5 median transaction values. How many real transactions are there? Like none. Monero falls 10x behind Litecoin. Dogecoin is kind of like BCH. It's a meme. Zcash, a meme. There's literally only Bitcoin, Ethereum, which has some real economic activity on it, and Litecoin. It's funny because those are the first 3 assets Coinbase had, but they're the only chains that have high total addressable markets, sustainable network effects. Trump is suing himself? Yeah, gold collapsed 5%. I mean, gold, I look at all these markets the same. There's all these narratives, but this is just people buying gold and ETFs, speculation from Wall Street around these same macro narratives. It's not like monetary network effects of gold substantially increased by 100, 200, 2x over the last year. And Bitcoin, since the lows, has not gone anywhere in monetary network effects either. So this is a meme narrative driven market. Everything, all the monetary markets kind of are, except I guess FX is different because those currencies are actually demanded. You've been figuring out it live with me? Nice. Well, that's okay. It's stale price action. I don't have any real opinion. The volume's dropped off a ton, but I feel like a lot of people got liquidated and then capitulated after sentiment was killed. I don't know how many sellers are really left here. And this structure looks bullish. So it kind of looks like this sideways choppy action. We need to move up back to clear these highs. Reclaim the 50-week MA, and then this went sideways for 3 days, then broke out. So I think we're within a few weeks. Not that it'll be exactly like that, but should spend less time. It's like this time at the highs was really long. This was pretty long. This is less time than here. I think this is the final test to the bottom side of this triangle. And if we fail to break out again, man, that would be crazy. I don't think that happens. Alright, finish up some painting, and then come on here. What up, Jackson? Yeah, I'm ready to. Fucking A. Goddamn. Ready to eat all the Bitcoiners' hopes and dreams. They might have 2x from here. We're about to see Bitcoin's 2017 run for Litecoin compressed into 3, 4, 5 months. Ready to finally get some vindication for this community. Just boring price action. XRP's running a little bit more, but it's got like way more resistance, I think, to climb through. And it just takes way more money to move, what is this, $160 billion market cap asset? My cat wants to sleep on me. Come here, Fernando. You can come here, buddy. Slow like patience, charge flat line, but my faith and I'm used to the room getting vacant. They laugh when you build and drop till they need what you build to get out. Pressure don't warn you, it whispers one tick. My cat's funny, he just claws at my leg until I pick him up. He's huge. Huge orange cat. But he's like a baby. A little baby Fernando. Yeah, no one's ready for it. Except, I mean, I don't know. There might be people that are preparing for it. I feel like Twitter X is a cesspool of just retards. Mostly. It's just like all 100% TA and recycled narratives. It used to be a place, I feel like 8 years ago, where you could find decent information, but it's been so dumbed down. It's retarded. There's some good traders there, but outside of that, it's a meme city.
Watching the wrong chart. They stare at the surface. Numbers dancing.
But there's got to be other people that at least notice the technical compression.
But the signal's not there. It never
There's
is.
gotta be someone smart that sees it. But I also think a lot of the smarter people just dismiss cryptocurrency because they see it as a casino, which it kind of is.
An imbalance in the core.
But somebody's gotta be paying attention that if you pull up LTC against any coin or the entire altcoin market,
but the real chart, the one that matters,
it's got a lot of stored energy potential.
It's the one underneath, the one no one tracks. The story's already been told, just not where they're looking. And when the break
He finished the cesspool comment before I finished it. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't even been on there very much.
It isn't a pump. It's a permanent structural change that'll reverberate everywhere, all at once. A move too deep for traders beyond the house's vision.
I don't think Bitcoin stopped.
Between the lines, not above them.
I think still we're gonna get a blow off like 2017. It's been my original thesis from the beginning, from 2022.
It'll be law.
It's weird to me because historically the assets that consolidated and compressed at the bottom of the range were the ones that ended up performing the best in percentage terms.
8 years ago.
But then we saw like even more compression after this like symmetrical triangle type structure. And that's usually preceded huge moves in crypto, right? Like Bitcoin of, you know, the 2020, 2021 rally, one of the most vertical moves, happened after similar structure. But Litecoin has both of those back to back, like a complex correction where it has this initial bottoming out, multi-year compression at the lows, and then further consolidation. So it's got like the two most bullish historically for crypto markets consolidation structures, one after the other. And there's nothing fundamentally that's stronger or has room for growth.
Another layer of smoke under the floor. Each doubt.
On the side of the market that I think actually matters, like long-term, sustainable
8 years or maybe later.
monetization.
8 years if you fell off. I didn't fall. I was following the fuse.
Yeah, I think it'll be extreme and fast as well.
Listen close.
Similar to the end stage of 2017.
That sound you hear ain't time running out.
It's just from like the end of the year through March.
The fuse is gone now.
Or April.
All that's left is what it was leading to.
Why does my computer keep doing that?
They keep talking like it's sudden. Like I ain't mapped the blast radius 5 winters back. Like I ain't write the code, bury it under their arrogance. You don't set detonation, you schedule it.
LTCN chart might give you some clue as to what this is. This is the first wave 1 up. And then wave 2 correction to the 618. And this might be an initial one too off the lows. But this should be the largest move here. I could get back to the highs. Which is a 50x move, but it would be tied to a 50x move in the spot market. He baked me. You think alt's top February? I was just looking at, I don't know. This is called the tops. We'll look at on-chain. The on-chain stuff's hard to read now. But this would imply an April top if we get a 9 on the weekly in March and top the candle after. So if it does what it did in 2017 or 21, that's when it would likely top. Nicola, thanks for subbing, appreciate it. And then typically these altcoin rallies after a long compression at the lows last. The first move is usually within 60 days after breaking out. It's 50, 60 days. That was the same for XRP in 2017. But it was about 4 months, 4.5. So we can see a breakout within the next month.
Yeah. When the flash fades.
It would, a similar time frame would be about April. But yeah, usually you see consolidation after that initial rally. Again, this was about 50 days too. It's been so similar. The one difference between 2017 and 2021 for the top performing altcoins, there's a much longer period of consolidation, but it also happened at a time period that's historically weak for crypto, which is during the summer. So usually it's been, and I don't know how seriously to take seasonality, but like early on in the year through spring has been bullish, and end of the year. So it's possible that we just start the bullish action similar to the 2021 cycle towards the end of the year, and then basically peaked in April, May. But this didn't start until very end of the year. It was December. It was bottoming out October, November. I think Litecoin can rally much faster from here. What up, Crypto Kobe? Good to see you in here. It's I think we likely break out of this range in November. The top potentially in April. Alright, I'm gonna send you the link.
Still lives inside this shade. The calm ain't silence, it's space. The end ain't lost its grace. Yeah.
Alright, I sent it. Oh, what the heck? One sec. Alright. Should be able to join. Greetings from Australia. Well, good to there's two people in Australia. There's Crypto Arcanum that comes in here quite often, that's from Australia. The community here is kind of all over the place. Some people in Europe. I think most is North America. But hell yeah. What up? Flip 5, Flippin' Finance. And he's in Africa. We got people all over the place. I forgot. I thought it was, aren't you in Nigeria, sir? It's Flippy. Flippy's got the best personality for content creation here. I think he'll do well. He's got the energy required. We're gonna take over the whole social media space here, though. I don't think there's anyone that can compete. Like the Zcash community, I don't even think there really is one. There's not much of an online presence. Nobody that can sustain cultural momentum. But I think we can. And I think the fundamental case is way stronger. The narrative plus the emotional resonance that I think we can obtain with the larger crowd.
Numbers dancing,
Both of those,
candles flickering.
I think, are dramatically better for us.
But the signal's not there.
So,
It never
yeah,
is.
I think we're going to dominate.
The movement they're
And I think the
chasing
whole world's going to hear about it.
was written somewhere else
So,
first. In structure,
if we can
in
execute
balance, in the core.
in explaining this fundamental
Everyone was trained
thesis,
to believe didn't matter.
along with tapping into the
No
emotional
stake stillness for depth,
attention
no
of
stake noise for proof.
the crowd,
But the real chart
going to overturn the
one that
Bitcoin maximalist narrative
ain't
for
the one
good.
they screenshot. It's
That's
the
what
one
I think.
underneath, the one no one tracks.
Oh, I didn't check my... Nick,
The story's already been told,
I don't
just
see you
not
in here
where you're
yet.
looking. And when the break
Join,
comes,
bro.
they'll call it unpredictable. It's the opposite.
Awesome,
This
thanks.
It isn't a pump.
I've just been
It's a permanent structural change.
trying my
that
best.
reverberate everywhere, all at once.
Who knows? We all have different
A move
skills.
too deep for traders beyond the house's vision.
But I want to have
Between
like
the
a...
lines, not above them.
It'd be cool to have group sessions. I want to have someone
And
on
by
here
the time they see it,
every day,
it
consistently.
won't be a chart anymore.
So if you want to join me again, that'd be cool.
It'll
Once
be
we
love.
start rallying, boost up the energy level of this stream. That'd be sweet. Once we have the attention, then I think we can attract the larger accounts.
The fuse is lit.
Maybe even have some
8 years
debates.
Not tonight. Not last month. 8 years. You didn't see the spark because real ignition don't flash. It lights before the narratives exist. It burns. How to breathe under pressure. They kept asking,
When's it gonna happen?
but ain't already in motion. Like every delay wasn't part of the burn. The longer the fuse, the bigger the detonation. And I needed it long. Needed it long.
Alright,
Needed
Link,
it
what you need me to
slow.
do? Well, do. I just want you to
Needed it
join in, give your commentary
Call it failure.
in the future. Because I'll just be live, or I'm planning to be if I can,
Each year,
most of the time,
Let
and
our
have this
smoke
24/7
overflow.
stream start again.
each doubt, another inch of powder line in the
I've
pad.
got enough content
8 years of burn.
that I feel like it won't
8
get
years of
boring.
motivation.
We just need to sustain a live chat community. How have your streams been going?
I was following the fuse.
I tuned into the Aztec one.
Now,
That was pretty good.
listen close. That sound you hear ain't time running out. It's truth catching up.
But there's so little interest.
The fuse is gone now. All that's left is what it was leading to.
Alright, Nick, let me request your mic. Alright. Said I requested it.
You hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Okay, let me add you to the scene. One sec. What the heck? It's like not letting me open properties here. under guest interview screen. That's weird. What the heck? Maybe I have to restart my OBS. It's the first time that's happened. It's like not letting me open where I can put your link in here. Or you can stay in here. I just have to reset on my side, I think. Or maybe I can add. It's being really weird. Let me delete this. It like pops up when I try to delete it, but it doesn't. Oh, maybe it works now. Nope. Okay, I got it. Nice. Somehow, I don't know what happened. Alright, it should be.
It's that part where nobody talking, but you still hear it breathing.
Should be in here. Yeah, they should be able to hear you as well. How's it? How's it going for you?
It's like short-term trading has been really good. I've had I had one of the best weeks I've ever had. Last week and a little bit into the week before. So LTF stuff's been really good, but then as far as high time frame stuff, I don't know. It's like we've been in the same boat that we've been in. You know, nothing's really changed. I say end of last week, short time frame stuff got stale too. So it was like really good volatility, and then we've just been kind of crabbing, and hopefully I think we just crab up. So that's what I'm kind of watching for.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it's been kind of boring, but I have seen you make calls on X that were pretty accurate. It seems like everyone on X has been pretty confused, but you've done a pretty good job at calling these. What do you think now though? Like into next week. I always get paranoid, or not paranoid, but cautious when we're rallying over the weekend. Slightly.
Yeah. Let's see. So what do you want to know? You want to know like next LTF move that I think?
Yeah, what do you think about the low time frames first? Or actually maybe start with the high time frames. Whatever you prefer. Has anything changed for you? Like from a higher time frame point of view?
No. I think for me, it's tough. I don't know. This purple line, it's hard for me to explain it without going through like deleting everything and redoing it. But basically, I guess this purple line has been important to hold. But I thought we could dip into this blue one. Yeah, it's so hard for me to do it without going over each and every, like, why I got this purple one, why I'm interested in that line, and then why I'm interested in just this blue line. Because this actually comes from this. Let's go over this blue one first. I think I did a chart about this.
Hold on, let me make it bigger. It's hard for me to see.
I think I zoom out too much. I think that's why maybe it's hard to see.
Yeah, just on my screen, because I have it on a side monitor, it's hard for me, but I can see it better now. What's this box, like this 2017?
That's basically where I thought we were at on this cycle. Yeah, so if I draw that same channel, let's go to 3.5 off the two lows. 0, 1. You make them blind. I don't know. I was just analyzing the different cycles, and like normal, it's like what you said earlier. We do match up to the 2016-2017 cycle pretty well. And I think I basically, when I was drawing these channels, I was drawing out ascending channels. So channels from low to low extreme to the high in the middle, and then seeing how we reacted each cycle. And we're most similar to 2017. I don't need. But it's weird. It's kind of like we've shown more strength than 2017, but it's been like we're just doing the consolidation phase, or like kind of like the tight range part before the breakout for longer, I guess. It's a good way to put it. And you can see, let me see, I'm gonna draw everything out. I think it's pretty close actually. If I extension. Hear police sirens in the background.
Oh, you can hear those?
It's not bad. It's just
okay.
very faint.
It's kind of far away, but yeah. I thought my mic was not sensitive enough to pick it up. Guess it is.
But if I go the 1.4, the 1.2 off the high, fib retracements from the high to the low of the market, you can see we kind of danced above, say, the 35% line of this fib channel measurement. And we kind of bounced above. And then when we broke out, we ripped up to the 1.4 before retracing the 1.2 and also the 3.5. And it's actually, I think I was pulling up from each cycle. For whatever reason, the 3.5 retracement. So I've seen a lot of action here. And then
I see.
pay attention to what number that is. 684. Let me remove this. Let me remove these fibs. But yeah, seeing how these cycles probably mirror, this cycle mirrors 2017 the most, as opposed to previous cycles.
The whole, yeah, for me, like looking at the zoomed out structure from like 2010 to 2017 versus 2018 to now, it looks similar. Each move, the first and third were pretty vertical, and then the fifth was long, drawn out. That 2017 run versus now as well. So yeah, it's super similar.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was different. Like for me, I was tracking 2016, 2017. I felt like a genius when we're still within the breaking new highs. And we traded very similar to what we did in 2016, 2017. But then we kind of differed in a big way because we kind of failed to get momentum once we broke previous all-time high.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that didn't happen in 2017. I mean, it barely kind of traded above, and then you could say it went to the 7-8. It did go to the 7-8 if I measure it from the actual high, which is there. Previous high, boom, boom, and it kind of bounced around, and we kind of had a consolidation phase there. Obviously, a lot more drawn out. I feel like that's when things started to really break. It's similarities to 2017, and then we kind of popped above, hit the 1.2, consolidated, and we did that here, and then now we kind of got above. But once we really cracked the previous high, though, we ran straight to the 1.414. And this time we cracked the high, hit the 1.2, consolidate, went sideways, and then we didn't even really tap it. We basically tapped it, but let's go like this measurement. I think it's better. Where we did hit it. I've been thinking we can kind of run into this blue line like we did quite a bit on the previous cycle. Kind of failed to break it, retested it, then went. It's been different this time. I mean, we were below it last time, stronger this time if we're just breaking out of this channel that we made off the lows. It's just been different. Like, so for me, I'm kind of viewing it like it has to be the same, but like on a short time frame, I was expecting like there's a chance we run into it again. I don't think we go as low as 95, maybe even 90, maybe 98 or whatever. I'm thinking the lowest we go is about that blue line. But yeah, I mean, the next move would be the 1.68, and then maybe we could finally break out and push. But honestly, most of my reads haven't had to do with this. I kind of zoomed out trying to look at previous cycles and try to get a read long term for that, for basically like a solid reversal point, and that was the best I could do. But in all honesty, like I think the LTF, I was doing so well on it, I was just going to continue to maybe leave some of these support and resistance levels up, and then keep in mind that we can run lower, but ultimately kind of go off strength and what I'm seeing on the smaller time frames. So
Gotcha. Yeah, that's been your strength. Has been you've been more accurate than most on the low time frames.
yeah,
What do you think there in regards to the next few weeks or till the end of the year?
Let me see if I could just basically undo everything I deleted real quick. How's your weekend going? Sweet.
It's going good.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of bored. I went to a Rangers game the other day, which was fun. But yeah, just
Is that hockey?
yeah, it's hockey.
I was watching some highlights last night of some new hockey player that went. I don't know. He's like really young. I think he was number 1 draft, and then he scored. Like, I don't know if they're called goals. He scored 4 goals his first game. You know
I
what I'm
think it
talking
might
about?
have been the Islanders player. He's been getting a lot
No,
of
it
hype.
was.
No?
Well, I don't know. It was a Canadian team. I think it was the Maple Leafs or something like that.
Was it a rookie?
Yeah, he's like scored. I guess he scored 4 goals, and no one's ever done that. No rookie's done that in their first game. So you guys got like a little prodigy.
I know there was a story about Austin Matthews when he was a rookie, but that was like years ago. Scored 4 goals.
That's who it was. I was watching some old highlight then.
Oh, okay.
That was Matthews. Yeah, that's how much I know about hockey.
Yeah, it's
Let's go.
not a super
Short
popular
time frame.
sport. They're like some of the lower paid professional athletes.
My cousin was a pro hockey player.
Oh,
I don't know if
nice.
you. I don't think you would know of him. His last name's CPEC. But I looked him up, and then I just saw a couple fights that he lost online. That's all I could find of him.
Oh, sounds familiar, but There's a couple kids I used to play with that made it to the NHL. One that was pretty good. Plays defense for Florida. But
That's pretty cool. Could have been you.
could have been me. I was forced to play like 300 days a year. I didn't even really like it that much, but my dad was like hardcore.
Oh, your dad wanted you to be a pro, yeah.
Yeah.
There's that 3-5 number, dude.
If I liked it as much as he did, I think I could have done really well. But yeah. It's intense as a kid playing like the highest level kid. The parents take it so seriously, and the training is super intense.
Yeah, it's always the parents. Well, especially for younger ages, which makes sense.
They're pretty insane on kids. Like coaches screaming at you when you're like 10 years old. I'm like,
Dude, there was some Saturday I went to my niece's soccer game, and there was like slightly older kids on the field above, and some of the coaches were like, and this is all at like a church, but it's really popular. Like it's completely booked up. It gets packed. You gotta like, if you want to sign your kid up to the league, you gotta sign up at midnight kind of thing. So it's really busy. But yeah, one of the coaches was just, the kid was probably like maybe 8 or 9, just screaming at the kids. And
yeah,
I just don't understand why they're taking it so serious.
I know. As a kid, I was like so confused. Like, why do you guys care more than I care? This is very strange.
Yeah, like why does this mean so much to you guys?
It's like most of these kids aren't gonna make this a career. They're just trying to have some fun. Yeah. Like if we lost a
Hang on, I
game, I
messed up
wouldn't
my.
care, but my dad would.
Your dad would freak out. I remember when I was really little, you know, like you strike out, at least in
yeah.
baseball, you start crying. All the kids would be crying every time they strike out, and the parents would be yelling at them. Hey, let me restart my.
Oh, okay.
I did that thing again.
All right. I can take over this for a sec. I think I need to request this again. Can you still hear me? Okay, I can hear you now. I need to add.
I just won't do that thing.
Let me see if this works. Okay. Should work now.
All right. I'm looking back at what I was looking at previously to try to get back in the flow of things. Let me add that on. Yeah, it was, I don't know. I had a good week, and then I've just been kind of chilling since, because I'm technically long, and I'm technically eyeing. What was it? I think it's these two levels up here. Let me check. 117, 118, yeah. Okay, yeah. Zoom down. Dude, it was amazing. Like I think I just got incredibly lucky last week for a bit.
Yeah, I know
But
you're.
it was, dude, everything went so well. It was like, oh, I'm long to here. Hit that target, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm taking profit, and if it reverses this level, I'll long. And then everything was just working out. And there was just only a few times where I kept trying. It was basically like we were dropping to the bottom of the range, and I got caught out a few times, like having to long a couple times before I hit it. Basically, long a support, didn't hold. All right, wait, long the next one. I've noticed longing the moving averages because I just started recently adding moving averages, or the result of actually a couple of losses. But at the same time, I felt like I was starting to get a better ebb and flow for having the moving averages up. It's kind of like for me, like almost like having like a VWAP or something up where I get a better expectation of whether we actually rip up to the highs or not. Like I was able to, it was easier for me to take profits on a shorter time frame, knowing that like, all right, the ebb and flow is probably going to reverse back down and I'll have another shot and whatnot. But
I see.
yeah,
That's sweet. Yeah, I know. I saw your post when you're longing support, and it reversed higher really quickly, and then dumped immediately back down. But you actually got out of it. That's cool.
Let's see. This channel's probably close. Like this little channel I put up was working well too.
You still think we're gonna make it back to like 116, 117?
I think so. Yeah. Like this little small channel I'm using is starting to look really ridiculous. Obviously, it looks ridiculous on the daily, but when you pull it up on a shorter time frame, then you can see more reaction. You're not going to see it on the daily time frame. We're on the verge of breaking out of, say, this range. Why does that look like that? Yeah. Give me a second. Now let me zoom down. No. That's what always trips me out. I don't know. I know you don't use trend lines a lot, but when you're trading on them, I always struggle to find like what time frame means the most, like as far as connecting the coordinates. Like if I'm connecting like two lows and a high in between, and I do it on an hour time frame, I'm going to get much more accurate than I do if on daily or weekly. But sometimes I'm like, is the weekly trend line actually where most of these people are drawing them? And then I struggle to think like, who am I actually up against? Am I up against algorithms that are using exact coordinates across, on each time frame they're trading and they're executing on, or am I just overthinking it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I end up usually trusting the hourly the most, because like for example, like if I'm looking at reversing up a trend line and I have those coordinates drawn based on just like a weekly high or whatever, and I don't have it based on say the exact price for whatever reason, and you draw trend lines based on different coordinates on different time frames, you get different results on different time frames when you're zooming in. And like for me, I've just learned to trust the 1 hour over the daily or over the weekly to get like the most immediate results, like the best risk versus reward for me. Like first a generic line drawn on the weekly or whatever, I may not get like a really good risk versus reward on the short time frame off those levels.
I see. Maybe it's because there are these algorithmic traders that are basically just day trading and taking those levels.
I always look at it. I don't know. For me, the way I do my technical analysis or whatever, I feel like I'm always just basically trying to line up with algorithms and like where the most liquidity will lie for like the buys to come in or whatever. Not necessarily like existing liquidity or I'm watching the volume. I try to go more based on like mathematical and trend lines and channels and whatnot based on coordinates to try to dial in like when I buy or when I sell, like that I'm actually going to line up with sellers. That's the way I look at it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've never tried to trade short-term time frames, so
Yeah.
I have no experience. I have no input there really.
Let's see. That was big resistance. Came down, and now we're kind of working at breaking that channel. We flipped. What is that? The 200-day on the 1 hour. That doesn't mean anything. Let me go back to the daily. Here. I think we're gonna break out of this soon. This channel. I think as far as our strength, we're already good enough to probably break out of this. If not, then it will give us. I'll just redraw it, and it'll probably give me a good entry. But I won't focus on that now. Daily, we're running into the 20-day. Come up. Let me get rid of this. Hang on. Sorry, I try to figure this out with you.
Oh, you're good. It's more helpful, I think, that way. Bitcoin's price action is a bit confusing to me.
Yeah.
Structure's weird.
Well, I didn't. Once. See on the. Let me try a 4 hour. I think the end of last week, nothing really hit. I had basically taken a wider entry at about, I think it was 108, and we dipped down. Let me see. It was about, yeah, somewhere around 108, and then we ran down, and typically run my stops, but this one I'm just gonna hold because I'm targeting 118 or 120, and pretty much now I should move it. I'll probably just move it to break even, and I'll just hold and see if we get hit, because what we had since, what was that? It basically was Wednesday. We've just had nasty price action on the lower time frame, like nothing I could actually trade, and nothing that you'd really want to. I mean, you're moving like up and down within like $1,000 range, like constantly, like nasty wicks back and forth. So it has nothing to be able to trade on a short time frame. So it's basically, to me, when we get this kind of price action, I'm viewing it as like it's hard for anyone to position for a longer time frame. For like, say if I'm trading the daily or the weekly or whatever, and I'm trying to pay attention to the last couple weeks range, it's just been nasty for people trying to get positioned for that. So, I mean, the next big resistance is 113, and then that 113, 114 area. And then after that, we could probably get that 117 to 120 or whatever. Let me see. What do you think? Do you think we're good to go, or do you think we're gonna? I mean, last week the idea for me is that we're either gonna run back up towards basically call it 117, 118, and from there we're gonna kind of figure out what we're gonna do, or we're gonna dip back down to basically almost run the lows, or possibly the way it was last week, run the lows, but say like 103, 104. Do you think we're good to go?
I don't know, really. I kind of agree with you that at least in the next few weeks, Bitcoin can move up to 117, 118. But I'm not convinced we'll go straight vertical from here. Might just chop around. But I do think that some alts can start going vertical as Bitcoin chops around longer. And I think Litecoin looks good here against the dollar if it holds these lows. I think we can move back up to
looking at Litecoin. I have not even looked at my brokerage, like my spot stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm just drawing this symmetrical triangle, and
waiting.
Waiting. I do think that we will hold these lows here, and it looks like we're bottoming out, similar to past bottoms. And I think the time at the lows here should be less in duration than the previous time we came down here, like April of 25, and then retested them June of 25.
Yeah.
I think this is the final point at the lows before we try the highs again at, I don't know, 120, 130. That's what I think, and I think we, just like Zcash moved against the rest of the market, Litecoin can too, and I'm basing that based on also all these pair charts, right? LTC against basically anything has been in this, it's like nearing the apex of this compression over the last 4 years, like since 2021. It's the
I
same
know.
against Cardano, against the entire altcoin market cap, others, and I'd expect expansion out of that. So I do think as long as Bitcoin goes sideways, we can break out and then continue the rally when Bitcoin finally expands out of this sideways action.
You
But
think we're going? So you don't necessarily think, even if, say, if we blast up here, from 90 back up to like 130, do you think we're good to go, or
yeah, I would
like
be
you
surprised if it got rejected for another time after basically 4 times at the highs over the last year or so. I do think it will break out, and I don't think it takes that long. Typically and I'm just looking at the higher time frame, historical top performing alts, they're like, within the first 60, 90 days, the vast majority of the percentage gains are achieved. And I'd expect the same, just because that initial surge takes way less money to propel it to highs. Even though volume might be higher at the absolute peak, usually the percentage move after this long consolidation and initial breakout is the highest. So I don't know how long that's gonna take to get there, but I still have the same expectation that I've had for a year, is that when it finally does, it can move like XRP or Zcash. Both of those are about the same time frame, like 3 weeks to get back to its 21 all-time high. And there's a lot of confluence amongst all of the pairs, but I think Litecoin's unique in that the rally can sustain itself a lot longer, especially if it's going to coincide with the breakout of BTC eventually, because we should see network migration that can help support price.
Yeah, Litecoin actually, as far as, say, narrative, as well as relative strength, has been really nice off this crazy sell-off we've had.
Yeah, I mean, it's held its relative strength. It started that relative strength before the liquidation event on October 10th. And then a lot of people thought it'd have to rebuild momentum, but it's kind of held that relative strength and continued up. It might pull back against alts, but yeah, if you look at LTC against CRV or any of these, I get the same result. It looks like it's going to expand against everything else. You had a LTC CRV chart before. Is it like approaching the area where it might get rejected?
Yeah, kind of. It pretty much right now is at the previous high, where 196.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost is at that point, yeah.
I want
But
to.
honestly, I kind of wanted. I've been wanting CRV to actually go lower. Oh, to my dog. Ew. Just stuff all over me. What'd you want to see?
Oh, I was just talking about LTC CRV. It looks the same to me as a lot of the. It's not as compressed as a lot of the Litecoin pairs that I was looking at. And I don't really
Litecoin
like the
versus XRP
slow.
looks good.
Yeah, well, XRP has a lot of resistance, I think, on the dollar pair ahead of it. You know, it's kind of rallied harder than a lot of the other alts off the lows. But I think it's got a lot of resistance at this, like 273 level, where it formed that descending triangle, or acted as support like 3 times before it finally broke through it. I think that'll be tough for it to power through.
Gosh. It looks. What's one of the best performers besides Link?
Link was one of the best off the lows, I think, and it was the best one of the best performers like last cycle. Same with Cardano. That was one of the top performers of last cycle. Are you talking about so far since the lows, or
Yeah, since the lows.
of October 10th? The strongest performers, like Tau, I think, rallied super hard and hardly corrected. Solana didn't drop as hard. All the majors like ETH, XRP, Binance was doing well.
Jeez. This is technically all I have from that. It's from Tao. Is it that new of a coin?
Yeah, I think a lot of influencers were pumping it, and I think Barry Silbert was. And there are some guys in Puerto Rico that were all excited about that coin that I met.
Yeah, this is the first one I pulled up where I'd say it actually looks weak against it. It's like one.
Yeah, the
Or
ones
like
I've
one.
been looking at, just others in general, like the broad altcoin market cap index.
Which one's that?
Just others, so like LTC against others. I can pull it up on my screen too.
Go ahead, pull it up. You switch screens real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you've technically potentially already broken out if you take the wick to body trend line. We've had like 3 lower highs here. I don't really like the way it's rallying up. I want to see Litecoin have a really strong move, but I think that can come if it rallies back up to the highs, where it finally breaks here. But it's basically been going sideways since 2022. And each rally since February of last year has been less in strength, but it's just consolidating here, and I think it's pretty close to a major breakout in my opinion, but it looks more compressed against Cardano or against Link. They kind of look the same, or I expect a strong move after this narrowing compressed volatility. I don't know if that means like Cardano and some of these others look pretty weak. Like lost this uptrend and looks really weak off the lows. It doesn't have much support below. I think it could come all the way back down to the November lows.
That's others right there.
That was
Or that's video.
Cardano. Others in general looks pretty weak. So I don't know if Litecoin's gonna just hold its own while some alts correct. But I don't know. I think what's most likely is we don't spend much more time here at the lows and we come back to the highs within the next month or two. And I think we will break out. And I think the breakout is similar to Zcash or XRP. Oops. I don't know, this range is kind of wider, but it's similar here. But if you take that into context with the compressed volatility that we had, rather than just continuously making lower lows like Zcash did, it puts more weight in my mind that the higher time frame expansion will be much larger. Like, I don't know, whichever time frame you take it, to me it looks I don't know how this wouldn't clear the previous all-time high, like on the very long-term time frame. We've never seen a cryptocurrency look like this in this narrow of a range for so long. And I think the fundamental story is way more convincing to the public than something like Zcash's privacy narrative, because it's not supported by any fundamental like evidence of transaction growth. It's just rallying on momentum and hype. So
the Zcash pump is weird. It's just narrative. I think that's it. One hype.
Yeah, it's. I mean, most of crypto's like that, but it is. Yeah, I know it's lower market cap, but still, like when's 50x or no? Yeah, almost 50x ahead of it in monetary adoption. Should get more extreme. So I think in hindsight, when price feels attention, it'll just be more. It'll be easier for people to buy Litecoin at $400 and Zcash at its all-time high. And I think you'll have like institutional rebalancing that were only convinced by the the BTC only narrative will second guess it when Litecoin starts rallying.
Is this better for my mic?
Yeah, it's better.
Holy, okay. Yeah, it was on the Mac, like the full desktop, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a lot better.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was like looking at the settings just now, trying to mess with it, and yeah, AirPods. Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm with you on everything. It's hard for me to time a breakout.
Yeah, it's about. I don't know how to time on the low timers when this happens, but it's impossible really to know. But I'm gonna stick with the idea I've had since the beginning of the cycle, that nothing should change my mind. It's all kind of gone from a macro perspective how I thought it would with other financial assets. We just haven't seen it in crypto yet. And nothing's changed about my fundamental thesis. It's only gotten stronger since 2022, since Litecoin was the one proof of work chain that actually outperformed everything else. It just happened at small scale, but I still think what happened with gold, what happened with some of these AI and quantum stocks will come to Bitcoin. Litecoin is really the only chain in the sea of random coins that I think both has fundamental potential growth that can drive price extremely high, and where I think the next logical place is for people that only have Bitcoin exposure to move to.
Yeah. Stop looking for something cheap.
Yeah,
I
if
think
you're,
everyone will do that every cycle.
people are always it's all speculative. People are looking for the highest percentage gainer, and in monetary networks, because of network effects that are so strong, once they consolidate around an asset, it's impossible for competition to compete. So why wouldn't everyone just pick the most dominant chain? Kind of like they did with Bitcoin. That's what convinced all of them to be Bitcoin only. It won't make sense from like a long-term perspective to buy some unproven asset. Why wouldn't you just buy the second Bitcoin chain that has as many users as BTC but is at a huge discount? So I do think people will eventually, if price starts rallying, if we reach all-time highs and then eventually go into price discovery, they will start looking at this stuff more seriously and come up with like relative valuations at least. Because I think the dollar valuations the whole market comes up with are just meme and narrative based. I don't think they understand, but at least they can understand like relative value comparisons within crypto. Like if this network is doing 10% of the volume of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin obviously has no transactional room for growth, why would you buy it at a premium? I think the market will reprice them. And I know, like, I'm like 90% confident if we see a blow off in Bitcoin and the fee levels go to where I thought they would, Litecoin will pass BTC, and the narrative will invert. So if there's any asset that's gonna pull like a Dogecoin like move or XRP like move from 2017, it's going to be this. Just given the the institutional setup too, and there's not many assets that they will rotate into or even can. Yeah, I think all the liquidity is just gonna flood into a few winners, and Litecoin seems like the one. So we'll see, I guess, but we don't have much time. If these TD sequential indicators are gonna play out like the last two cycles, the top would be around April. It's called the monthly top, exactly, last two.
The TD? Is it the TD9 thing?
Yeah, like the time to mark indicator. It's worked in 2017 and 2021. But it would approach the same sell signal like March, April of next year.
Honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't last like for another couple years.
You mean
Like
this
some
bull
people are,
market?
yeah.
I think
I
it
think a lot of
really.
people.
Some people are thinking that, and they think that I think the consensus is that the drawdowns will be less severe. I think it's going to be the most severe. So I know there's.
Yeah, like it's well, so you're on the page that'll be the most severe. Like it's not going to be like this slow adoption,
No,
long drawn out.
I don't think it is adoption. I don't like how they define adoption because it's just, to me, all the same. It's just speculation. Adopting the ticker, not the actual thing, the underlying
Not
value
the
prop.
not the actual like technology and
Yeah, and I think all of that stuff they call adoption has to be weeded out. I don't see any bigger buyers than like people like Michael Saylor ever coming to crypto that can bail out him and buy his bags at a higher price than he paid for them.
so who's he expecting to buy his bags? Like has he talked about that?
Yeah, he thinks
Everybody?
all the corporations and governments will start stockpiling Bitcoin. And so from his mind, it makes sense to front run them But I think he confuses what the actual value prop is. I think the only people that are going to adopt this are individuals, like high value individuals that are either censored by their governments or taxed extremely. Those are the people that I think eventually use it. And that
It seems like as money, like who eventually use it as money.
savings, money, like if they want to get paid for some work they're doing, like contract work or something, and there's like capital controls, or like the macro world gets crazier and you want to work with someone that's in China to do like development or something, and they want to get paid in Bitcoin. Stuff like that I feel will eventually support the price, but it's hard to get that kind of adoption if you're in a bear market for price and price is going down. Like nobody really is gonna want to take it and hold on to it.
It's not gonna, yeah, no one's gonna want to use it as a store of value.
Yeah, so I don't know. And there's just way more leverage in Bitcoin now than ever, even though it's not really on retail exchanges. There's a lot of leverage outside of the exchanges in Bitcoin. Like Michael Saylor's a good example. A lot of people have like been trained to leverage, just borrow against their Bitcoin to live off of. I think we got to wipe all those people out
Before something, or?
like monetization and the macro environment has to change enough to where people realize, oh, this is actually what Bitcoin is useful for. Yeah, and then I think most people, like, we have to develop the credit layers, credit rails that most users will interact with, that are more in a decentralized, like DeFi type environment, and off of the regulated exchanges. I think the whole crypto ecosystem is gonna change. It's dramatic.
It's weird though. Do you think a lot of it's gonna fail like right at the almost like the beginning of adoption, or like stablecoin usage, or like it seems like, say like Coinbase or some of these other companies, they're still, seems like they're still early days.
Yeah.
Do you think they're late?
I think it's a very late stage of the Coinbases and Binances of the world. And I don't see that giant of a market for stable coins. I think most of it's just being driven by demand to continue to speculate on crypto. I mean, there might be some marginal benefit to some people for stable coins because they can get access to them when they don't have dollars. And I think the US government does see it as an opportunity to offload their inflation tax to the rest of the world. But I don't know. People can just reject them. I think the people most excited about stablecoins are the issuers who are going to make money off of it. It's like adding another middleman where they can extract some percent gain on their total stablecoin issuance. So they're all following like Tether, saying, "Oh, well, these guys made a ton of money. We should all do this."
It's
but
true.
I'm not that bullish on stablecoins. I don't see outside of the crypto stuff why people would want to use stablecoins over something like Venmo or PayPal. I don't see the value add to get regular.
It'd be the staking probably, right? They'd have to get, it has to be the rewards,
Yeah.
which is what they're going after for the adoption side. It's basically like a safe place to put your savings or your cash, where you're gonna get at least at par return with. I bet they all pretty much try to go for 4 or 5% consistently.
Yeah, I don't know how they'd be able to offer better yield than just like a high yield savings account, because all these issuers have to have a bank account or be a bank, and they only generate interest. You know, they'll probably mostly hold treasuries.
That's their benchmark pretty much, and they do, at least they'd slightly better. Currently.
Slightly better than, but where are they generating the yield from? Is it like revenue from their exchange? Is it like,
I don't know that.
Because the only
on the yield.
Yeah, it's like if you're promising yield and maybe the stablecoin's holding Bitcoin, it's like that could blow up and the stablecoin just fail. So there's no productive lending in crypto. They either have to lend to the US government and offer like a spread, like they get the yield of the treasury and then offer their users a slightly lower rate and they make the spread on that. That's what banks do. But if they're using a bank partnership, then the bank has to make money and they have to make money off the stable coin. So the end user should get less, unless they're taking like really high risk, and then they run the risk of just blowing up like BlockFi or all these others that offered higher yield than banks. And so that's why I've always avoided the credit layers in crypto. And
What do you think about the whole tokenization of the stock market and
that stuff? I think
everything else?
I've never been excited about it because I don't think really there's that much demand to like trade 24/7. People still are still gonna work their Monday through Friday 9 to 5 jobs and there won't be that much trading happening on the weekend. Two, I think there's not going to be very many companies that issue shares directly on chain, so it'll be again like a stablecoin, like another credit layer on top of credit layer, and it won't change the underlying settlement of the traditional financial system. And then people are mostly excited about if everything does move on chain directly, that it'll somehow be bullish for their real world asset token, but it won't. I mean, you have to compare valuations to like the existing traditional financial like clearinghouses, brokerages. It's like, yeah, BlackRock might manage $6 trillion, but they're not worth $6 trillion. And people have this totally incorrect view on
Market, what, like a realistic market cap
yeah, for real world
expectations?
asset tokens. It's it's super tiny compared to what they're looking at. It's the same problem with XRP, and they're like, oh, there's quadrillions of derivatives, or like $100 trillion that could be tokenized on XRP. The market they're competing at is maybe like total in aggregate a few $1 trillion.
So you think basically just, however long we ride out this current cycle, hoping for like um, exuberance and a blow off and kind of like a final bubble pop
Y-
before everything goes back to reality and we have to like
yeah,
um, look at these things under a microscope like everyone does
yeah.
and under actual bear markets.
Yeah, I think the market's just been consistently reinflated, and expectations have gone higher. And there probably will be all these narratives, right? That might get people excited. Stable coins proliferating. They see like institutions that they think are credible that are, buying Bitcoin and say they're moving everything on chain, and that might create a lot of hype and then drive, crypto higher. But I think ultimately all that stuff that they're promoting is way less exciting, way less revolutionary than everyone will believe at the time. So yeah, I think the market's completely backwards. Like some of these cryptocurrencies, if they penetrate the monetary market, that's the biggest market in the world. That actually is like over $100 trillion, right? What people use as money, and if we have macro conditions that force people at the margins to maybe adopt this stuff, even penetrating a small percent, like 5%, 10% would be, 10, 20 trillion dollars in market capitalization, and there's just almost no proof of work chains that can, potentially do that have any network effects except Bitcoin, I guess, but its price is so extreme relative to the monetary adoption. And then Litecoin's the only other one, and its price is extremely discounted on a relative basis versus where I think it'll head long term if this like broader macro environment emerges. But yeah, it's
where
weird. It's weird.
I mean I feel like wouldn't majority of the currencies have to fail?
Well, they wouldn't have to fail. Uh,
You get close to it. I mean, inflation would have to go like absolutely out of control.
well, I think it just has to move to where people are, realize their living standards have gotten worse. It's already kind of happening. But I think eventually inflation should move out of financial assets into
Safe havens.
real assets. Yeah, like safe haven stuff, physical things that can retain their value. And interest rates eventually will go higher as they're printing a lot of money. That'll eventually happen, but I think that takes like 5-10 years. And that's the period of bear market that I see in crypto over the next 5 years or so, once this market cycle tops, where people will figure out, you know, when the macro conditions make it obvious that this is what this is meant for. And I think we'll see different infrastructure that provide on-ramps for people, and privacy and proof of work chains dominate, versus what's dominated the last 8 years is just a popularity contest within a casino, just pyramid stacked on top of each other. That's the only way that I imagine this making like a real world impact, because the only impact I see is people getting rich off of speculating, and like very little end user, like, oh, I'm using this because it's saving me money here, or I get to can send money when I wasn't allowed to by my government. And there's not much. It's probably the biggest market cap, even though people say it's tiny, like the biggest asset class with the least amount of value provided to the end user of anything in history. Because at least in the internet.com bubble, you know, people were starting to use it, order stuff online. E-commerce was actually a thing that grew exponentially, but crypto's grown exponentially with no
It's always the same thing, right?
real
Where
adoption.
people overvalue something because they don't know how to value it, and then
Yeah.
it has to come back to earth, and then the majority of the stuff has to be cleared. And
Yeah, we've just never come back to earth since 2017. I feel like never weeded out the things. They've maintained higher prices. So it's gonna be, I think it'd be absolutely
probably
crazy.
just dragging along with the stock market, right?
Yeah, and the stock
Waiting
market's
for a
become
definitive
a
top.
popularity contest too, to a large extent. So it's
true.
It's weird. I think we're in the craziest times, and still have, I think, a final euphoric. It has to conclude that way. I feel like the odds of this whole bubble and illusion.
Not ending off in like a massive blowout.
Yeah, it would be surprising, especially considering it's already kind of happening in other. It is happening in gold, silver miners, gold miners.
It'd be nice if we could just get all the liquidity, huh? Very end.
It might be that way. Honestly, once crypto has enough
they could
momentum,
blame it on. They could blame everything on crypto.
Yeah, it probably.
It would be.
Well, God, it's gonna be psychologically shocking, I think, for most. Even for us, even if you expect it, like living through like a euphoric run, and then I don't know if it collapses right away, but a long-term downtrend.
Yeah.
Is gonna be.
Yeah, like you said, 5+ years.
That's what I think. What do you think? I could be wrong on the.
On whether we get. I just try to say honestly more agnostic towards it, and not. I guess just try to follow it on a smaller time frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I'm at, because.
And you can make money regardless of what happens. I've only ever been confident in my longer term views, and you're confident in your shorter term ideas. But it would be so weird to me if we just saw a slow institutional increasing, like, that's possible, but it's like speculative adoption wave of crypto while nobody understands what they're buying, like indefinitely. That'd be super weird. No,
that's a good point. I mean, how do we value? Like, I mean, like, it's the stock market. You value things.
Yeah, they have
based on earnings and future earnings, and how do we? I don't know.
Monetary markets have always
actually make any money.
Yeah, monetary markets have always been historically confusing for people. That's why we've had so many like government currencies that have started and failed. Like the monetary history of the U.S. super interesting from the 1800s. Like we've had so many bubbles and failures, and this inability to figure it out. Maybe we never come up with valuation frameworks. It just slowly gets adopted, and people are confused forever until it becomes like an ordinary daily thing where everyone just uses it without caring about, you know, speculating on it or the price.
Yeah.
But
hard to tell. I'd say short term. I don't know how we do it exactly. I'd kind of just follow it. You know, I'd expect if we get pulled back now and we pull back towards the 110s or whatever, we'll probably get a good buy down here. And or if we move up into that, we'll probably stop short of the target and pull back. Either way, I'd say eventually we'll probably get a good pullback here, back towards mid 110s, and then get a decent opportunity to ride back up towards 118. We'll just call it 118.7 or something like that.
yeah,
117 to 118. Yeah, I still think that's the target.
that makes sense
Basically,
to me.
kind of,
Reverse
get pointed rank down.
Reverse this weekend rally. The CME closed at 110, 700, but
There you go. Yeah, either continue to pop up into resistance, say 113, or grind sideways and then break down and then, fill that gap and then get our push. But I'd say nothing currently actionable on any time frame I want to trade. So just kind of wait and see mode, wait and react. But yeah, overall, I'd say I'm bullish going into next week, and I think ultimately we get up towards that 118-ish cluster of resistance.
nice. We'll see. I think I'm probably right. Are you highly confident on that? Like, if you put odds on it, it would be like 60%, 70%.
I mean, while we're still, say, below this 50, I'd say it still opens up to that fear of basically running the lows or almost the lows back towards 104. I think that's still at what everyone's paying attention to. But that's why it's easier to trade the lower time frames. So where I'm like, if I'm looking to create an opportunity, like I'd be probably willing to even short the rejection to get above the mid-range here that we haven't been able to do, to kind of get people more excited. I'd say like it'd be easier to short the rejection of that and then buy the support, or just wait and buy the support of that 3.8 to potentially try to break that mid-range. But I'd say right now I'm more confident that we probably won't get a quick rip up. I'm more confident that we should get a good opportunity to long into the opportunity of breaking that mid-range. So kind of agnostic on whether we break out now or later, or whether we come back down towards the lows and test. So, but if I had to put a odds, that if we do come down to say that 110, or say that CME close and fill the gap, that we should get a good reaction from there. I'd say I'd be like 70% confident that we should get some type of reaction. I don't know. More than 50-50. Let's say 65% confident.
Nice.
I wouldn't bet the house on it, but I think as far as how this past week, the opportunities we've gotten, I would expect the volatility to keep up. I wouldn't expect just an instant trending from here, especially how we've been basing off the lows. But yeah, I'd say if we can get a move into 113, come back down to 110, or come back down to 110 before, get a good shot and get a good move, because I don't know, that's how I'm kind of viewing things right now, because I can hold my spot and be bullish and have my long-term stops and long-term targets. But the lower time frame, it's really fickle, and I'd rather just continue to bet on volatility and have a bias for like maybe for a couple weeks or for the week, like bias of that size of the move or where we're going to be trending, and then I'd rather play the moves in between. And because like even if we got say 110 to 119 or whatever, that's a big move, and fortunately I've been able to keep stops tight, so I don't know. I'm bullish going into next week, but could be wrong. Was wrong a few times last week or last couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're bullish. I'm glad you're leaning bullish. It is like impossible. I feel like short-term timers are so hard, but you tend to do a better job than most. So thanks for your insight, Nick. Appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah.
You have plans now for your Saturday night?
No. Finish. Try to do another coat of paint, and then nothing.
You guys
And then
redoing
tomorrow
your...
we got a birthday party.
Oh, nice. You guys redoing your house or something, or just painting?
Just always. No, it's still just bathroom actually been working on. Last week we had or last couple weeks we went to vacation, and when we got back, one of our dogs' health wasn't doing too good, and then we're kind of me and my wife were shifting, staying up all night, watching one of the dogs, and then unfortunately, was it last week or the week before? On Monday we had to put her down. So we just
Damn.
like got a lot of stuff going on. So the bathroom renovation, whatever, kind of got on hold. And so now we're trying to finish it before Halloween, basically.
Dang, sorry to hear about your dog. That sucks. Sad.
It does suck. Yeah, it sucks bad.
Frick.
It always, and it was different for us because it's like the first time we've been adults, and having a dog pass away, and then having to make, and then the way having her health degrade, and then trying to make the right decision of whether continue to pay or get the surgery, and you got to weigh everything, and then we're watching the dog in pain or whatever, and you got to be the one to make the decision.
Yeah.
It sucked way more than I imagined.
Yeah. Dang. Sorry, man.
Oh, it's all good, man. We're
But
good now, but yeah, a little behind on stuff.
yeah, thanks for taking the time out of your bathroom thing to update us, or me particularly. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's always good to be on.
Yeah, hopefully we can get an audience once we get out of this range. That'll be
Yeah,
more
honestly,
fun.
it's tough. I mean, the price action's insane. It went from being extremely volatile to slowly crab up. And then I'd expect the volatility to pick up again next week and go to the upside. But as far as like getting any type of people in here for like an actual euphoric stage, especially in alts, it's just, I mean, I'm just going to be glued to the lower time frames until we can get some type of resolution out of this, Otherwise,
Sure.
I just wouldn't be looking, If we're in this little range and I'm long term, it's just like, why bother putting any time in? But
Yeah.
I'll just continue to monitor the LTF and see if I can kind of get a feel for it when we actually before we break,
Yeah, you'll be
one
one
way
of
or
the
the
first
other.
to know, probably. Hopefully you can
Let's
get
hope so.
excited again like you were prior to us failing last time, but you did notice a little bit before. We just, unfortunately,
Yeah, it's
wrecked.
hard to, I don't know. I'm the same way, like all of us, especially on the longer time frames where it's like I want to be more hyped too, but maybe since I'm gonna start to focus on the lower time frames more, and then kind of split things up to like have like a longer swing, LTF trades on deviations, and then maybe I'll shift into like a longer term swing too, where I'll be able to provide more clarity between multi-month moves, because I get the same way where I get very excited that we're gonna get a multi-month break right at resistance.
Yeah. Well, eventually, next time's the time, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Next time.
All right,
All right, man.
bro. Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
All
I'll
right.
talk
Have a
to
good
you.
weekend.
You too. See ya.
All right.
All right, guys. Let me catch up on the comments. Ragnarok, what's up? How you doing, sir? You disagree? I'm thinking of these things wrong. These things are more like Pokemon cards. Well, I get that point. I get the idea that some things may trade like collectibles. But I've never been a huge fan of collectibles. Usually those revolve around like cultural phenomenon. Like Pokemon is a good example. It was like a huge cultural phenomenon. Everyone was trading those cards, playing the game, obsessed with like the show and the characters. And it had some like sentimental value to a lot of people. And there's, you know, few of those around, so a few of the limited edition whatever cards. So people are willing to pay for it. It's the same with like RuneScape items or League of Legends stuff. But to me, money is just money. There's no... There might be collectibles in like certain aspects of crypto. Like maybe the first Bitcoin transaction or the coins from the first Bitcoin transaction or some of the first blocks mined could trade at a huge premium to the actual spot price. But I think of it like money. Like collectibles only have a limit on their price. And I'm thinking of what the network potentially allows people to do and putting that into my macro framework or where I see the world headed. And I do think it's likely that they see increased monetization. And it's hard to distinguish sometimes between a collectible and a bubble. Right? Like the NFTs, you might say those are collectibles, but most of those crash 95%. You don't need adoption or use as money. It's primarily a collect. It's not though. Like look at the dollar. The world is using fiat currency. And there's some fiat currencies that turned into collectibles, like Zimbabwe dollars, before the hyperinflation. Or maybe, you know, if dollars ever go away, you can treat old dollars as collectibles. Old quarters. I mean, people collect all sorts of things. But money itself is not a collectible. It's a thing. It's the thing that's demanded in exchange for everything in the world. So its primary use of money is to exchange it for something else, not to collect it and hoard it. Like nobody's collecting and hoarding. The most dominant money is like yen, euros, dollars, won. Primarily, maybe some people, but most people do not collect the money that they're using every day. They just use it. What up, Crypto Kobe? Thanks. Appreciate the comments.
It's that part where nobody talking, but you still hear breathing. Pressure don't make a sound.
ETS might be the trigger. Just play. Nice to see you in here. Yeah, the government shutdown is gonna be longer, I guess. I have such low interest in what goes on with the government, really. But November 16th plus is where Polling Market says it's most likely to resolve and end. I just say the thing that's worth the most in the world are the dominant monies, and primarily because they're useful, not collector items. And that argument can always be made in any bubble, especially around digital assets. You've been really busy? I think I remember you talking about that, where you're about to pick up in the spring, summer time period over in Australia, right? So hard to tell here with what happens. We're at a point where like we could have like a 5% move higher if it can break, but it's the weekend, so it's a little weird. And we're also at a point where Litecoin can go vertical out of this type of, like a lot of the times before we see large moves in assets, you see this like high volatility on lower time frames, and you're seeing it against Link here. It kind of happened here before the large move up. So it looks constructive to me, even back here. You get these like wide ranging candles before a move. Even here, bottoming. It's like looks bullish. I just don't really like the choppy linear grind higher. Looks like it wants to pull back. Doesn't have to, but so we're in like a period of uncertainty here. You're unemployed, putting your welfare check into Litecoin, living in storage.
Not tonight.
I remember when I was a kid, I wanted
last month.
our family to like live in a shed so we could save a bunch of money.
You didn't see the spark because real ignition don't flash. It lights.
You'll be around a lot more around Christmas break. Oh, sweet. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're gonna spend not too much time here at the lows
They kept asking.
and head back to the highs pretty
When's it
fast.
gonna happen? It ain't already in motion. Like every delay
It's the
was a part of
statistically
the
most
plan.
likely thing to
The longer
occur.
the fuse,
Just like it
the bigger the detonation.
was here for
And I needed
Zcash.
it all. Needed it all. Needed it slow. Needed every inch of silence to soak in disbelief.
It's easier to
Call
see
it
it on
fate.
the
I call it
line
architecture.
chart.
Each year, another layer of smoke under the floor. Each doubt, another inch of
Again,
power line
Litecoin
in
has
the
been
path.
lagging Link by like
8 years of burn. 8 years of maybe later.
60 days.
8 years if you fell off. I didn't fall.
It bottomed.
I was following the fuse.
Well,
Now, listen close.
30 to 60 days.
That sound you hear ain't time running out. It's truth catching up. The fuse is gone now. All that's left.
So over the next 2 months, if this continues tracking, should be at the 20 at 400 bucks. By the end of the year.
They keep talking like it's sudden. Like I ain't mapped the blast radius 5 winters back. Like I ain't write the code, bury it under their arrogance. You don't set detonation, you schedule it. Yeah, this ain't love, it's latency. Every L was latency. Watch the noise, took notes on the symmetry. Now the pattern hums back at me. Perfect pitch, perfect timing. They busy guessing, I'm reminded. I ain't chased nothing, I designed it. All these charts look random till you wide in the frame. All these kings look safe till you light up the chain. Pressure never broke me, bait me.
It is weird how many 786 style corrections we've had. Like, off of this largest move here. Hero chase. The 786, we did it here. And then off this low, we tagged it. And then even off of this low here to the high, it wicked down there. So many. That's 1, 2, 3 deep 786 style retracements for Litecoin in a row. So what's most likely when this finally runs is just hardly any pullback. It's just sideways style correction. Funding rates flip negative. That's interesting. That's bullish.
You just wait for the etiquette. They thought collapse. I call it long. This is what patience sounds like when it finally talks.
And open interest is as low as it was.
Yeah.
Like almost as low as it was at the bottom in 2022.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Pressure made light made silence. Now I'm left with both a calm that came from violence. The walls still carved with what was said. Truth still talks, two was dead. They'll call it luck, I call it debt repaid.
Yeah, MWeb is ramping up. At least the total balance. People are just moving coins into MWeb. Transactions aren't really growing. I mean, it is getting traction, but it's funny because MWeb adoption might pass Zcash's total blockchain's adoption. It's not that far behind. It really was at like 2,000 transactions at the bottom here. MWeb's doing like, at the peak, here was like 1,000 a day. So it seems likely Litecoin's going to be the most dominant privacy chain, even though it's not great privacy, but from a usage standpoint, we might get there. CMF's moving up pretty aggressively against ETH here, which is good to see. Destruction.
Every scar lit this show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the less leverage in the system, the healthier it is. So we had a lot of like buying the dip on leverage here, but mostly this has been spot driven, and this is at a much higher price. So that leverage can come back. It'd be nice if it comes back after breaking out. But we should see volatility return pretty shortly. I mean, volume should pick up here next week. We had 2 weeks after this liquidation event.
Pressure don't make a sound till it cracks out. Yeah. Whole market been holding its call. Ain't dead, just pause. Like God, his style. Everybody left when it got too calm. I stayed, I learned what quiet cost. Yeah, ain't no hype, just hums in the basement. Block stack slow like patience. Charge flat line, but my faith in it, I'm used to the room getting vacant. They laugh when you build and the drop till they need what you build to get out. Pressure don't warn you, it whispers. One tick, then the whole thing flips. Now I've been tucked in the calm too long. Yeah, can feel the walls start singing songs. Yeah, they don't see heat till it fall they lands. They don't see the flash till it's gone. Yeah, pressure point we close. Whole world leaning on his post. You can call it still, I call it low. Quiet, don't be froze. They scroll past proof like ads. Call faith delusion. Call time sad, but time stack stats. I watch the math and pressure build when nobody asks. Yeah. So yeah, keep saying it's over. That's cool. Even the grave can hold breath before the shoulder twitch. Pressure point, and the twitch just hit.
Everyone's watching the wrong chart. They stare at the surface, numbers dancing, candles flickering, thinking that's where truth lives. But the signal's not there. It never is. The movement they're chasing was written somewhere else first, in structure, in imbalance, in the core. Everyone was trained to believe didn't matter. They mistake stillness for death, they mistake noise for proof. But the real chart,
Yeah, we can look at the liquidation
one that
heat
matters,
map. It's pretty stacked
ain't the
both
one they
sides. I mean, you could have
screenshot.
liquidity taken
it's the one underneath, the one
in
no
both
one
directions here.
The story's already been told, just not where they're looking. And when the break comes, they'll call it unpredictable. It's the opposite. This shift, it isn't a pump.
There's a lot more here than
It's a
yesterday.
permanent structural change that'll reverberate everywhere, all at once. A move too deep for traders beyond the house's vision. Built between the lines, not above them. And by the time they
There should
see
be
it,
way more liquidity to take above
it
because
won't be a
financials are
chart
negative.
anymore.
And I think Litecoin
It'll
just
be
needs
law.
to, on the lower time frames, to break here. And then we can begin the ascent back to the highs.
fuse is lit 8 years ago.
Holy moly.
Not tonight.
Alright, guys. Thanks for hanging out with
Not
us
last
today.
month. 8 years. You didn't see the spark.
I'll be back.
because
Just continue
the
to
real ignition don't flash.
do this every day until
It lights before the narratives exist.
our moment comes. I believe it's
It
coming.
burns.
End of the year.
How to
Spring.
breathe under pressure. They kept asking, when's it gonna happen? It ain't already in motion. Like every delay wasn't part of the burn.
See ya, F Wolf. Peace out, Joss, Jack.
The longer the fuse, the bigger the detonation. And I needed it long.
Thanks for the message, Just Play. Appreciate that.
Needed it long.
See you later. GN,
Needed
MK.
it slow.
Have a nice sleep.
Needed every inch of silence to soak in disbelief. You call it failure. I call it architecture.